Hey guys, Dustin here with another Gym Owner Spotlight, and I'm super excited to introduce you to the guest because I know you're going to learn some valuable nuggets and also hear what his experience has been like since working with us. So I'm excited to introduce Ryan. Always good to connect with another handsome, bald guy. How are you doing, sir?
Us bald guys we need to stay together, right? But no, we're doing absolutely fantastic, loving it. Growing during the slow summer season, so we can't complain here. So yeah.
Glad to hear it, man. So let's kind of dive into it, kind of share everybody where you are on the map, on the globe, and what's the name of your business?
Yeah, so Fit Body Bootcamp owner in Wichita, Kansas. So pretty much, you take the United States and go right smack into the center. That's pretty close. You're going to get really close to where we're at, and
All right, man.
yeah,
That's
that's
off the
it.
heart.
Yeah. They're the Heartland. You've seen Wizard of Oz. That's the standing trick that I get all the times. Like, oh, we're not in Kansas anymore. But yeah, that's every time I'm out of town.
Claim to fame.
So
All right.
yeah.
Okay. Great. So yeah, I guess just to kind of go a little bit deeper, who tends to be your ideal customer? Who do you guys work with? And like, what do you specialize in?
With Fit Body Bootcamp brand, our avatar is typically the 35 to 55-year-old female. Right now, kind of where we've been seeing the most success with our clients is we've been trying to target teachers as best as possible. Teachers are the best clients. They get the best results because they take all of our coaching as homework assignments. And for whatever reason, they like homework and they do it and they execute it perfectly and they get the best results. But for the most part, we're just trying to help the busy moms, help the people that need to sneak in a little bit of extra for them. And that's primarily what we do. Yeah.
All right. And then just final question before we dive into like some golden nuggets is how long have you guys been in business now?
8 years, I think. So been doing the gym industry for a while. I had started with personal training studios. I did one-on-one trainings, then switched to more of like a semi-private cross training, and then actually 6.5, 7 years ago, bought into the Body Bootcamp model and have been rocking it ever since.
It's really interesting. I noticed people who have like a personal training background prior to opening a gym tend to do really well. And I think it's because it comes from a place of passion. You love it. And when I meet like investors, business people, people that just kind of decide to buy it almost like when you buy a pack of gum as an impulse purchase at this grocery store, they tend to give up and quit a lot quicker. And I think it's because it just doesn't come from a place of passion. I think if you really like want this, then when things get tough, you'll stick through with it. So that's great. All right, man. So at the time of this recording, it's the summer 2022. You mentioned that you guys are doing great. You're growing. And this is notoriously, I call it Christmas Juniors. This tends to be cyclical for the business. The second downturn in the year where Christmas, December being number one, and this being number two. And it's because people go on vacations, kids are out of school, routines are thrown off, and people kind of just throw in the towel. They also want to probably take some of that money and parlay it into vacations and eating out and that type of stuff. So I wanted to ask, what are some golden nuggets you could share with some fellow gym owners right now that is helping you to grow in the summertime?
Honestly, it's diving in harder, right? So when the times are tougher, it's going all in and not pulling back when maybe our clients are pulling back or our leads are pulling back. It's increase the ad budget. It's increase the amount of outreach that we're doing. It's increase. In fact, I actually just got off the phone 2 days ago with your team, and that's pretty much what it was. It was like, how do we increase our efforts and double down our efforts to make sure that we're still getting the same number of people in through the door? Like just last week, we signed up 6 new clients, 5 of them on our nutrition program or boot camp plus program, and 1 on just our basic accountability program. And so people are still, when we're doubling down our efforts, people are coming in, they're signing up, and their lives are getting ready to change. So
Love it, man. And it's funny because I'm actually going to be presenting later today to some gym owners. And one of my slides is called, the 10X rule. And it talks about Grant Cardone. And I mentioned in the summer, you got to 10X your output. And I pretty much say, if you go into a healthy time of the year, let's say spring, fitness usually is growing really strong there. Normal effort will get you normal results, and crazy effort will get you crazy results. Then you go into a tough time of the year, which again could be summer. Normal effort will get you poor results, and crazy effort just gets you normal results. And so you have to 10x what you're doing just to meet the status quo of what you did in spring. And you could throw a fit and complain and whine about it, or you could just accept, hey, this is the cycles of our business, and you just got to make sure that you are prepared for it. I'm assuming, but I want to, ask you this. Is it because you've been in the business for so many years, again, 8 years, that means 8 full calendars of you recognizing patterns. And so you're like, oh, I know what happens this time of the year, time to do these steps in advance so that, we're in a better place, because I've seen this time and time again. Has pattern recognition helped you as a gym owner?
Without a shadow of a doubt. And what it does is actually helps me as a gym owner communicate to my team who has not seen those patterns. And so because I'm able to communicate to them and say, hey, this is typically what happens, we're going to change the tune, we're going to change the outcome because you're a rock star, and you're the best person we've ever had in this position to date. And because of that, we're going to grow instead of lose clients this summer, right? Or something along those lines. And none of it is untrue, because it is entirely true. It's very funny how it works out. Like in these cycles, or in the experience, every year our clients, because we've had clients that have been with us for, the whole entire time, every year our clients tell us that this is the best team we've ever had. And they're not just saying that, they're literally seeing how each new round of coaches and each new round of facility coordinators and head coaches that come in, they're saying that they're better every single time. And so it's very important that I'm communicating that to our team as well, so they go into these hard times with some more confidence going forward. Yeah.
Oh, that's great, man. That's a good point. It makes you a better leader, because you could say, hey guys, I've been down this road. I can tell you what's coming. Follow my lead, and I'll make sure we get out of this storm really easy. That's
Mhm.
great, man. So yeah, I know that you've been using our service, gym reinforcements, to do your follow up. And I was gonna ask you, let's go back to before you worked with us. Who was doing the follow up? Was that on your shoulders, or someone else on your team? Who had to take care of that?
Yeah, in a typical startup, and I may be a slow learner, right? So probably the first 4 or 5 years, it was me, and it's really hard to do all of that. But then we started hiring people, and so we would hire full-time coaches and full-time admins. And the admins, at first it was the coach, because right, we needed a full-time coach. And so at first the coach was doing some follow-up, not their specialty, right? Like that's not the right seat for that individual. Okay. So then we hired a full-time admin, and the admin was doing it. However, either me being a poor leader, or us, or them being very skilled and wanting to move on and up and be paid something more than what we were able to offer at the time, our churn rate was very high with our admins. I won't lie, we had the best applications, right? Raise your hand, gym owners, if you've ever like put out an ad for a new coach and you get crickets, but the second you put out an ad for an admin, you get 100 people applying, right? So we'd have some absolute rock stars, and they would want to be in the gym industry, but then not. So they'd get in the gym industry, see that it's quite a bit different. Admin work in the gym industry is a little bit different than admin work sitting at a 9 to 5, right? Because there is no 9 to 5 in the gym industry. And so then they would quit, and I'd keep going through. And so there'd be a lull period of, all right, now we're like, I'm only halfway replying to leads and getting back with leads. So I'd probably just shut Facebook ads off. And while I'm trying to hire somebody new. So the reason why we went with Dustin's team at Gym Reinforcements was like, that gap is not going to be, there'll never be a gap anymore. And the reason why I really like that is, let's just say my sales associate leaves, quits, whatever. You guys have people in the bullpen ready to step up and do exactly the same thing they were doing instantly. So we never have to turn our ads on. We never have to do anything. And you guys are constantly, like our first one, wasn't performing as well, immediately bring in a second individual. I'm like, this is exactly what we need. So somebody else can manage, coach, and um, and help that individual out. So that's not on our plate, and it's consistency. And consistency is the only way to grow in the gym industry.
So many good things to unpack there, dude. I think I went through the same thing with admins, and from my experience, many gym owners had, and I think it's because that title draws in someone that thinks they can be just more like a data entry and like a phone forwarding call person, and like it's different in a dental office, insurance office. You're kind of like a receptionist, a greeter. There's not as much work in billing and selling, and so I think it's when you grind them against that you got to do follow up in sales, it eventually pushes them away, which is fine because it's like, this must be done. I can't just like eliminate this from my business. Like someone has to do it. So, that's where, I came up with the concept of gym reinforcements is like, if I put out a different job title, if I say I'm now hiring a sales associate, a sales representative, and then I go and give them these sales duties, they knock it out of the park. And so like, that was like a big turning point for me. And that's why, again, this service exists because I think a lot of gym owners find that frustration that we say admin and we throw, hey, you got to get yourself an admin, but we should change up like, what we say to one another because there is admin duties and you probably should get an admin, but they should do zero sales and follow up. But then the sales should be owned by a salesperson, a sales rep, sales associate, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, that's the first thing I want to like, Jones.
And we even tried that, right? So we tried hiring for just that, but it's really not, it's kind of part-time. It's not full-time, really. You can knock out most of the lead follow-up in 20, 30 hours a week. And then if you try to pay them commission, man, they're out on that because the commission's low and they're not selling high enough ticket items to make it worth their time.
Yep.
Right. For the sell. So, yeah.
And then the other thing I wanted to bring up is what I call the business bridge. Like if I have to take my prospect and I have to walk them across this bridge to my business, the marketing is a piece of that, running ads, and then the follow-up, and then the sale, and then they've crossed over. Now they're a client. And a lot of people don't look at that. That's valuable. If you have no lead nurture, you have no bridge. They're like, you can't have marketing and then sales. Like gone are the days. I mean, you were probably, doing it when those days were around where I could just have ads pointing to a paid, funnel and people would just check out. And then, the next steps were show up Monday. There was no, follow up needed, but those days are gone.
Way gone. You'd never believe it. We actually bought our first house because I threw up an ad in like one day to a 28-day, $97 sales funnel. It was a bikini body, 28-day bikini body program. Man, in 2 days, we sold $10,000 worth.
Wow.
Think about that. In like 2 days, right? Like 100 people signed up.
No follow, all paid on the
road. No follow up. All straight, $97 right away. Like, all right, thanks. Down payment for my house. Thank you very much. And it came perfect. I was like, we needed this. We're about to close on the house. I was like, all right, babe, I'm going to throw this up. Let's get it. And done. And it worked.
Well, again, we can gripe and moan and say that, that I sucks. I wish I could go back to that. But like, just put yourself in the prospect shoes. From 10 years ago to today, how many ads have been on their feet? How many offers have been thrown at her? How many things have they opted in at? Everyone's just desensitized and they're burnt out and they're just numb to how many offers. So like, and they have major trust issues. I know I bought multiple things and I was a major letdown. If it was a thing and it broke apart right when it got here and it was like crap made, and sometimes it was a service and it was a letdown. So it's like people have their guard up. And that's why, again, gym reinforcements will call and we'll hear the person. We want to let them talk for 20, 30 minutes. We just want to zip and listen and just feed a question when they finish up and just say, what is your fitness goal, Mrs. Jones? Great. Why do you want to achieve that fitness goal? Great. What have you tried so far to achieve that fitness goal? And just little things. And they're going to say to themselves, man, you're the first gym to call to actually talk to me, not say we're running a special. You want to sign up? Let's get you signed up and go straight for the purchase, right? So that's what lead and nurture is about, is nurture the person, listen to them, take care of them, make them feel serviced, and then they'll want to do business with you. But too many people now, again, are still trying to do the old school thing or just offers, pay me now. And it's like, I don't know you. Like, why should I buy from you? So that's great, man. we have, like you said, a team of people, and we take the training off your plate. I think that's another big thing that gym owners really value when they work with us is like, you don't have to teach them your CRM. We're going to do that for you. Like, how long does it teach you to teach somebody Zen Planner, Club Ready, Mind Body, Fit Pro Tracker? You got to sit down and do 10 hours of training with them. Poof, God, we do it. And then we teach them sales. And what I like that you brought up was like, hey, I got with you guys, and the first person, I wasn't really seeing the sales come in. And just like any company, a few bad apples slip in. I know I've hired coaches, and the clients would message me privately and say, hey, Dustin, I know you guys need a new morning coach, but I don't think this one's the one. And I value that. I like that because I'm here to serve them, and I want to know their input. And maybe I saw, because I'm very optimistic, I saw all the good they brought to the table, but I do want to mix it with real-time feedback. And so even us in gym reinforcements, the gym owner will say, hey, I'm really excited about your guys' service, but I'm just not being thrilled. No problem. Like you said, we have a bench. We'll get someone else in there. Sometimes it's a personality fit. Sometimes it's just straight up money. Like, there's just not enough money being made. And we'll get a new person in there and like give us that chance, that second opportunity. But don't judge us, off that first one if you're not thrilled. So I'm glad that you brought that up. And I wanted to say, like, now that you do have, somebody you're happy with, what are some things that, have been taken off your plate that you're like happy, like, I don't have to worry about. I know they're going to be done well. And then with that saved time, what are you putting it into now? Like, what does it free you up to do?
Sundays. I'll just say that. All right. Sundays. That was always the biggest thing where we'd do some lead follow up and everything. And then we'd get them scheduled for Monday, or maybe we hadn't quite scheduled them for Monday, but man, over the weekend, everybody has got things to do on Sunday. It's the biggest day for our SA, right? So for our sales associate, and she works on Sundays. She works on Sundays to make sure that they're lined up, ready to go. Every single new trial getting started is lined up, ready to go on Monday. Now, do they all show up? No, not always, but that's going to be that's the industry, right? They're going to talk themselves out of it Monday morning when they wake up and the alarm goes off. That's fine, right? Now, our sales associate follows up like crazy, where in the past, we would just write them off. They didn't want to be here. They are no longer a top priority for us because we don't have the bandwidth or the capacity to follow up. We're on to the next one. And so it was funny when you guys got into our accounts, you're like, Ryan, you're like, how many leads do you have in your account? I was like, I don't know, like 1,200. They're like, what? Like, we need like 200 in there because we have to hit them. And if they don't, they need to go into like a PAP store or something like that. Yeah, a pass or a prospect, because they're not a hot lead anymore. So we had hundreds and hundreds of dead leads under an RCRM. And it's because they'd sign up for something like a 3 free day or something and never show up. And they were done until we hit them with a blast 1,200 SMS.
Yeah.
And that's how we did it, right? We just had to blast the SMS and then hit it hard, and then get a few people in the door. It was a whole bunch at once, and then nobody, and then a whole bunch at once, and then nobody.
And that's something we do is we'll clean up a CRM to our internal definition, which to us, a lead is hotter people that have opted in the last 2 to 3 weeks. And then everybody else to us as a prospect, they just get less contact in terms of volume. They're still getting contacted, but the leads, we're hitting them a lot sooner because they're the most recent to opt in. And that means they're the most interested. In terms of like, what you're like delegating and elevating now, right? Like, now that you've delegated this, like, hey, lead nurture, lead follow up, that's yours. I'm elevating too. Is it developing your coaches? Is it selling memberships? Is it culture, client results? What do you spend a lot of time on now?
It's all team now, right? And so I've now actually several months ago have delegated now, or we've risen our team up to, we have our facility coordinators now running all of our sales appointments. And honestly, she's doing a way better job than I ever did. And I'd consider myself an amazing salesperson, right? But the reason why I think that we're literally, if they come in the door, they're closing. It's an 80% close onto our most expensive program. It's a 20% close onto our accountability program right now, but it's 100% close. There's not been one person in the last 3 months that my lady or my gal Caitlin has sat with that did not join.
Okay. I think that could help a lot of gym owners. What do you think is her magic sauce? Was she a product of the product? Did she come through and get results? Is she passionate about fitness? Is she the same age as your prospects? Like, what do you think helps her? Or is she just a really good closer? She's very convincing.
She was never in sales before.
Wow.
Right. So what's happening is the leads have been nurtured better. Okay. Because like you said, like you're actually having phone conversations with them. So our leads are getting nurtured better through gym reinforcements. They're coming in for a 3-day trial, and then they're either meeting that first day or that second day with Kaylin. And it's been just an entire no-brainer for them. She did go through your sales training with Vivian, which was fantastic, right? So she was popping in on, I think it was like, what, 10 weeks or something like that every Friday, like 10 weeks possibly. So she was able to go through that, and that was it. Like that's all she had. And she's a major student of the game, but she can relate. And I think a lot of times, me trying to sell women, I'm not super relatable. They relate to her really well too. So she's got a passion for helping the people, and she knows that her job's important. So yeah.
Let's face it, man. You really can't even talk shampoo conditioner with these ladies, so they're definitely not going to relate with you.
Sure can't. And one of the biggest things when I was like closing, we hear it all the time, is like, you guys have it too easy. You guys have it too easy.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got testosterone. That's cool. Yeah. So it is a little easier for us.
All right. Well, Ryan, just one final question, man, and then I'll let you go because I know you're a busy guy. If somebody were, thinking about doing gym reinforcements, what would you say to them? They're skeptical, they're worried. I know it's an investment, but like, just to hear it from another gym owner that's actually using it, what would you say to that person?
Well, in typical closing fashion, I'd say, well, what are you worried about? Okay. Like what is the hesitation? There should be zero hesitation going through and wanting to offload this very, very important task. It is top 3 most important things that you can do in your business. 1 is deliver a good service. 2 is build leads, and 3 is follow up and close the dang leads, right? That is hands down the only way to grow consistently. Okay. And if we're tired of the cyclical, all right, I'm making a whole bunch of money in 1 month and then we're making 0 the next month. If we're tired of that up and down, getting somebody consistent for less money than you could ever pay a salesperson in the States. 100%. Could never hire somebody for the price of gym reinforcement. And it's an absolute no-brainer.
Love it, man. All right, Ryan. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing an inside look in your business and, telling us about some of these golden nuggets that are helping you grow during the summer. And appreciate you sharing your story, man. And I'll look forward to helping you grow your business even more and hitting some new milestones and some new records inside the company as well.
Yeah. They're going to work hard. They're trying to double our revenue this month than they did last month. So
nice,
on the front end. So that's, hey, we're diving in deep. So that's good.
Love it, man. All right, Ryan. Appreciate you, brother. Talk again soon, man. Bye-bye.